And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to Gem in the Crypto, episode 1158. Today is Friday, October 20th, 2023, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto most days, Monday through Friday at 10ish. In today's top stories, let's see. Community reacts to SEC dropping XRP case and library shutdown. Senator Warren plus 100 legislators wrote White House Treasury about crypto and terrorism. New York Attorney General sues Gemini Genesis DCG for allegedly defrauding investors. FinCEN proposes designating crypto mixers as money laundering hubs. And Tether to publish reserve reports in real time in 2024 is being reported. First and foremost, of course, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at these prices and give some shout outs on the day as well. Let's see. And you know what? Still a little bit sideways movement, but we did get that small push up to almost 30K we saw the last couple of days. Right now, Bitcoin's coming in at $29,699, up 4.1%, 1.7%, excuse me. Ethereum's at $1,609, up 3.53%. Number 5, Ripple at 51 cents. So nice little pump there at up 7.26%. Number 8, Cardano at 25 cents, up 2.85%. And number 10 is Tron at 9 cents, actually up 2.79% as well. Trending tokens, Engine is trending. Engine coin, haven't seen them in a while, up 0.44%. Ripple, of course, XRP is trending, and Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is almost at a full 50. It's at 49 now, so it's went up a few points. And let's see, Bitcoin dominance at 51.6. So Bitcoin dominance is stronger than ever, and Ethereum's at 17.2. Those are your prices on the day. Okay, really quick, let me bring up this YouTube, give some shout out to you folks in the comments. Hope everybody's doing great. Happy Friday. Today is Fuck Bitcoin Friday. So right now I am going to go ahead and put that link in the chat. Feel free to call in if you want to discuss anything, shill anything. What perturbed you this week in crypto? Let me know. Let me know what's up. We'll go ahead and put this link in there right now. Boom, there it is. All right, what's going on in tech? Patrick Walter, Junior Maylees, Bitcoin, Janine, Wisdom Bars, Crypto City, Jerome, Satoshi, JB, No ID. Good morning. Smash that like and share. Yes, thank you on the way in. Pay that tax. What's going on, my metaverse? Let's go ahead and jump to the top stories. I mean, honestly, this week ended just regulation heavy, whether they were actually regulating or deregulating. It was just a week of regulations, and we're going to go ahead and talk about it. It seems like that's going to be the theme headed over into next week as well, as some of these are new articles, some of them are going off old stuff. But first, we'll cover this, of course, some of the breaking news from the last 48 hours, outside, of course, Bitcoin and crypto being terrorism, is the community reacted to the SEC dropping the XRP case and library shutdown. That's right. Of course, a new court win in Ripple's legal battle with the SEC. The community begins to mourn the demise of the library, which some say was regulated into oblivion. That's right. Ripple's latest win in its legal battle against United States securities regulators has been marred by news of the blockchain platform library shutting down operations, which triggered the community to react. The U.S. SEC announced its intention to dismiss all claims against Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and Executive Chair Chris Larsen on October 19th. The event marked a significant legal win for Ripple in the civil case filed by the SEC in late 2020. So, really quick, want to cover this. Have to point out, like, this to me is the SEC should not just be allowed to drop this and like everything's okay. Like, one thing we brought up when the whole SEC case against XRP took off was the Sammy the Bull Gravano, who used to work for the freaking mafia, when he came out and said, hey, yeah, we work with regulators to stop our competitors from being able to truck. We'll have regulators at the entrance and exit of every trucking department that's our competitor, so that trucks can actually get in and out and deliver things. After about 15, 20, 30 days doing this, they're behind, they're losing money. You do this for another month, they're gonna have to shut down, essentially. Like, he was explaining how the mafia was using the government regulators to essentially stifle competition, eliminate competition, and add barriers to the industry in general. To me, I saw the same thing with XRP. The SEC came in. Of course, if they could literally destroy them and stop them, they would, for no reason, of course. But that wasn't their point. The point was to slow them down, still as much technology, still as many best practicing procedures, so on and so forth, and then just let them die out on their own. And that's what they're kind of doing to me. First, they wrangle them upside down, they bully them, they push them around in a circle, they take them for all their money, they put them through the court process, you sully their name, everything's bad about them. Then you say, all right, well, we're just gonna drop it. No, 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 no. To me, this is that same as like false claiming a crime to the police. Hey, excuse me, officer, I saw this person with a gun. Officer checks him. We didn't see any gun. Like, are you sure? You're like, yeah, I'm sure. And it's like, you know how serious this is, right? Like, if you're lying. This is one of those crying wolf situations. And no, the SEC should not just be allowed to say, okay, sorry, we got this wrong. We dropped it. Hell to the no, 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 no. You use taxpayer dollars. You use United States taxpayer resources the last 3 years to go on a wild goose chase for XRP. There is no, oh, well, we just dropped it and it's over with. No, that to me should warrant the chairman getting what do they call when they excuse themselves, reclusing. He needs to recluse himself from being a chairman. Like, he literally needs to step down. You don't get to waste taxpayer money and go on wild goose chases and maybe get somebody, maybe not, and this, that, and then just drop it the next day and say, well, nothing's wrong. Something must have been wrong if you used all that taxpayer money to go after them. So either XRP is in the wrong, or as we've seen, they're actually in the right and the SEC is in the wrong. If that's the case, we need to get to firing people. Why are these people allowed to just keep using our money on whatever they want, and then they just come out on a Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, whatever, and be like, all right, yeah, we just stopped. It wasn't like, what? Are you kidding me? But yeah, that's what the SEC is essentially doing. They're like, all right, enough is enough. I guess we're good to go. Here, I actually go into the story. This, of course, this case had been going on since December of 2020. And yes, October 19th, the filing in the U.S. District Court for none other than the Southern District in New York. The SEC notified the court parties involved in this case against Ripple have stipulated to the dismissal with prejudice, suggesting there was no need to schedule an upcoming trial. The filing did not state what the SEC was dropping a civil case against Ripple itself. The filing did not state that the SEC was dropping a civil case against Ripple itself. First filed in 2020. The SEC and Ripple intend to meet and confer on a potential briefing schedule with respect to the pending issue in the case. What remedies are proper against Ripple for its Section 5 violations with respect to its institutional sales of XRP. So basically the fine. That's all we're talking. Money. They figure out the money deal. SEC isn't getting as much as they wanted. Ripple don't have to give away as much as they thought they had to. They found a good deal, and that's what's happening. In response to the filing, Ripple Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderty called the move a surrender by the SEC. Thank you. Call it for what it is. It is not a settlement. The government does not settle. They surrender. It's a surrender by the SEC rather than a settlement. The crypto firm released a statement referring to the SEC decision as a stunning capitulation. Shout out to Ripple, actually. They are like, listen, I've again, I traded Ripple early on when it was like way less than a penny, right? Like, I've traded Ripple. I've done all types of stuff with it. I thought they had a great use case for governments and institutions until I realized the government was going to just hijack them and take it, right? But I give them props on the many levels. First, for actually fighting the SEC and not laying down. Oh my goodness, so many crypto companies have laid down. If you actually fight back the book, let me do the camera. Let me do the camera. Where the camera? Go ahead, zoom. How many? I know y'all be like, oh, he's just crazy. He's always military. How many times have I told you if you fight back, they won't come hard like people? I was taught in football, okay? Offense and defense. For those who don't know football, there's a receiver on offense. His only job is to run and catch the ball that's thrown him. There's called a defensive back on defense. His only job is to stop that guy, that receiver, from catching the ball thrown to him. On defense, he can do whatever. He can hit the receiver, he can slap the ball down. Don't let the receiver catch the ball. One thing I learned in football when I got to college was that a receiver does not like an aggressive defensive back, and most defensive backs don't like aggressive receivers. So what that means is, for the receiver who every play, I'm thinking for those who watch football, the Hines Wards, I'm going back now because I haven't watched football recently, but the receivers who attack the defensive back, once the play is called, they're not even thinking about catching the ball. Their first instinct is to slap the DB, punch him, push him, do something aggressive with him to throw him off his game. Most defensive backs aren't expecting that from receivers. Receivers are known to be soft. So when a receiver is actually super aggressive with a defensive back, they don't want to play them the same way. Most defensive backs don't. They don't want to smoke themselves. On the flip side, most receivers don't like getting touched either. So if you're a defensive back and you start to play off, hey, get a flag, slap him across, punch him, get a flag. So what? They're not going to like it. That's going to throw them all off the rest of the game. This is the same way when it comes to bullies. Bullies, gang member, all these other people, they do not like when people fight back. They much rather have a nice little sheep to eat, something that's soft and don't fight back. This is an easy slaughter. They don't want it. Most predators, like literally look across the animal kingdom, most predators will not put themselves in position to be hurt or wounded by another animal that could affect the rest of their life. They don't want that either. They go after weak prey. This is the same. The SEC going, they tried to go after the Ripples of the world and Coinbases, and they realized that these people weren't backing down. So what do? Fuck it. We'll take the libraries of the world. We'll take the Reggie Middletons if we can get them. We'll take these little guys here and there and everywhere else. But again, shout out to Ripple, XRP, for fighting the bully back. This all you literally have to do. It's been so many people throughout history who's like, no, you just put the money up and go back against the SEC. It's taxpayer money. While they have more and then go longer, they have to justify it. And after 3 or 4 years, their department heads, the government, even taxpayers are like, okay, so wait, what are we using our money on again? Like, what are they doing so wrong? Because it's been 4 years and nobody has died yet. Nobody has lost a lot of money with them either. So what are we using our taxpayer money on? You have to outlast them. But bottom line is you have to fight back. You have to fight back. And right now, majority of this industry does not want to fight back because, again, these are other professionals who are older, who've mitigated from other professions with money, and they don't want to lose their money. But by and large, in order to actually beat this big bully and beast, the entire community has to say, we're not going to take it. All right. So getting back to this story, of course, shout out to Ripple and their chief legal officers by saying, yo, this is not a settlement. This is capitulation, and this is a surrender by the SEC. I fully agree. And again, I want to point out, if the SEC is surrendering, then clearly we don't have the right people there to actually see things through. They don't know what they're doing, and we need to get new people in there so we won't keep wasting our money with the ones that are there. Chris and I were targeted by the SEC in a ruthless attempt to personally ruin us and the company so many have worked hard to build for over a decade, said Garlinghouse in October 19th X thread. I agree. And this is the worst part. They are Americans. We literally had an American government agency try to shut down an American business and American lives, like literally destroy their personal lives as well, throwing mud at them, slinging mud at them, all because they started a tech company that said, hey, we're going to make the entry to banking easier for everyone across the planet. Like that caused them to be persecuted by our government. Like that is insane. And to put this in perspective, Brad Garlinghouse and XRP, when they fought back, if you remember, Brad Garlinghouse became like the 5th wealthiest man on the planet when XRP hit his high. It took 3 years for what was once the 5th wealthiest man on the planet to fight the SEC off. It took 3 years for him to do it. It took 3 years for them to do it. Like really put that in perspective when you talk about corruption and becoming too big and too powerful, like in checks and balances. It took 3 years to fight off your own government's. Like you're supposed to do that if a foreign entity is coming at Russian government, China government is coming after you for stealing tech, or like that's the type of fight you're supposed to have. You're not supposed to do this with your own government because you create a new way to bank. And when you say it out loud, it's absolutely insane. The SEC went after their team for 3 years and surrendered. And Noah's in trouble. They're just like, yeah, it's just Friday, guys. It's Thursday. We do this sometimes. We blow it. Shout out again to Brad Garlinghouse and XRP for taking their victory lap. Here's that X threat. Today was an even better day. Ripple 3, SEC 0. In all seriousness, they don't have to be serious. Like, no, I am with this. Take your victory lap. The SEC should be, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word. They should be embarrassed at the bottom, at the very least. And again, I want XRP to take a victory lap so big, the rest of the government, Congress, and senators as well say, hey, why are we giving the SEC money? Why are they asking for $2.4 billion? Why is all this happening? But again, in addition to the story, while we're celebrating one of them getting away, another one fell, and that again was Library, major blockchain file sharing and payment network, announced the termination of its operations, citing several $1 million in debts owed to the SEC, its legal team, and a private debtor. Again, this is the same thing the mafia did to the competing trucking companies. They made it so that they literally could not operate anymore because they owed so many fines, because time had been lost. and so on and so forth. You remember months ago, Library, once the SEC made it known that Library was quote unquote security, according to them, they were coming after them. Library tried to fight. They actually came back around and tried to fight more once the appeal against Ripple was lost by the SEC. Like they came back out kind of doing a mini victory lap, like, see, they're lying. We got it. But it looks like it wasn't enough to maintain. So again, SEC came at the Library in March of 2021. Again, Library is only trying to be a decentralized YouTube. So basically YouTube without an owner for the most part. But they accused the firm of similar security law violations to those it brought against Ripple, even after they downgraded the $22 million penalty against Library to around $111,000. This is what I'm saying. This is how you know it's extortion. It's a money grab. How do you go from I want $22 million to I'll take $111,000? Listen, that's a shakedown. Like it's clear as day. It is clear as day a shakedown. They went from I want 22 million. Library probably showed them the books like you all clearly, because this is the problem with the American government right now. The American government, just like some of the people who cover the crypto scams, the CoffeeZillas included, the Spencer Cornelius, like none of these people are talking technology or value. They're only talking price, right? And that's very important because in government eyes, like no one's lost money in crypto. For the government, only everyone's made millions of dollars. There hasn't been any dips, no retracements, no scams, no dumps, no bad projects. Only people have won. That's like the way they're approaching this, where they're just like, we're protecting you. We're protecting you. You need taxes. You need licenses. You need certificates. We're protecting you. And it's like, yeah. We hear you. Part of this protection outfit you keep trying to offer needs to give us our money back. People have lost so much money in this space throughout the year, especially I will almost dare say the longer you've been in, probably the more money you lost every other year or whatever. So with that being said, you look at a Library, the SEC probably said up front, we won $22 million, looking at ICOs and other indicators being like, these folks have to have at least $50 million. But when they probably did an audit and went to the books, they saw that, yeah, we had $50 million the first 6 months of operation. And since then, it's dwindled throughout the years. And now we're down to, I don't know, $600,000. So if you guys want this 22 million, you're going to bankrupt us and we'll never be able to pay you again. Or you can take a little taste and come back in 4 months and we understand how the government does. And it looks like that's what they opted for. They said, fine, if we take the 22 million, we'll bankrupt them. And you remember, when you're talking about the mafia and people who extort and people who racketeer and stuff, they don't want to, like, the drug dealer isn't trying to kill the druggie, folks. They just want to get them super doped up and super jacked up so that they can come back and spend more money. If you kill them, they can't spend any more money. All right. And most drug dealers know this. You can't kill the client. They won't be able to spend the money. Same thing in the extortion racket. Okay. I know a little bit about this, believe it or not, as well. If you beat somebody to the point they're in a hospital for days or weeks, or you kill them, worst case, they can't keep paying you. They can't pay you. So the government doesn't want to kill Library. They don't want to kill Ripple. They really just want them to come to heel. They wanted them to get on their knees and submit, but they didn't do it. Library ended up actually dying in the process, and Ripple escaped and fought back. But what they wanted them to do is bring them to heel. They were going to say, all right, we don't want $22 million from you. That'll kill you. You won't be able to pay us again. But we'll take the $111,000 every 6 months on the date. All right. If there's money going around, I want in. That's the government, and that's the SEC being as grimy as all get. You don't go from $22 million to $111,000. People, do you understand how what? All right, to put it in perspective, how about this? I know how to put this in perspective so everyone listening and watching understand. You get offered a job for $22 million. When you go to the interview, they say, sorry, we can only pay you $111,000. Now, to some of you, that's still a win. It should be a win for most people, but there would definitely be a conversation to be had. You would definitely raise an eyebrow like, wait. Bro, we didn't just go from $1 million to 100,000, which would still be wild to say we want $1 million, now it's 100,000. We went from $22 million to $111,000. If that is an extortion, I truly don't know what it is. my man just threw some numbers out there. We won $60 billion. Like, bro, we only made $3 million so far. Fine, we'll take 2.9. Like, wait, what? We need operating costs. I gotta pay people. What do you want us to do? So again, this is Library. They've officially called it quits. It's unfortunate. I will say I thought they were doing a decent job of building until now. Like, again, it's hard to get the home run in this space. A lot of competition, a lot of copycats. but I thought they were doing a decent job. Unfortunately, library is gone. XRP is in the end still. So I don't know. It's very interesting to see. I think this is a big win for crypto in general because it does devalue the SEC and what they're doing in this space. However, it's also a lose for crypto because it does show that, hey, if these government agencies get to jacking with you, most businesses and projects cannot sustain it and they will unfortunately shut down. And again, this is a 2016 token that was released. Hey, you could be fair and say you got shut down because you didn't create nothing in time. SEC said we want some money. You all were like, we're having problems. We can't figure it out. Hey, they burned the restaurant down. We get it. But if you would have paid, maybe not. Unfortunately, lessons to be learned from all of this stuff. But again, SEC's in the hot seat, folks. They're definitely in the hot seat. And we'll see what happens next. We know Brad Garlinghouse is being under almost investigation by his own peers because of what he's doing as far as blocking the market. But we shall see. All right. Yes, Sergeant Crypto. Thank you. Stop lurking and smash the likes. Kaiser said, okay, so where did the $20 million go? Exactly, right? They probably gave him the $20 million on the table, and SEC was like, thanks. Now you can shut down. Like, oh, I thought we gave you the money. They're like, yeah, you did give us the money. Now shut down. Hybrid said, I'm an XRP holder. Please be nice to us. LOL. I need the macro environment to be good so I can exit to buy a full Bitcoin. There we go. Satoshi Slim said, King, now they spent tax dollars for 3 years and failed. Do you really believe there will be any repercussions for the money they burn? There will be no balance. It's the SEC. I know it's quite unfortunate, but again, these are things that should have been pointed out for sure. Let's see. Zyro says it's a whole different perspective watching gang tactics play out on the world stage. It's absolutely insane, people. It's insane, and I'm glad to see that. Again, seriously, shout out to Brad Garlinghouse in Twitter or XRP on X and everything. Like, to really call out the SEC for losing over and over and over again. I love it. Wait a minute. You know what? I'm gonna send these guys an email this weekend. They need to get on the show. I got to talk to them about having big cojones and why the rest of the market doesn't. I can't wait to talk to them. How do you guys move around so freely with those cojones? All right. Senator warned 100 plus legislators, right, White House and Treasury about crypto and terrorism. This is the problem with America right now. The weak people get their way. I mean, it's that simple. The weak people get their way. Oh my God, we can't stop crypto. It's technology. We can't do it. Let's all write a letter. Let's write a letter to whoever the savior is at the end of the tunnel, whichever guy or group of guys, no offense, it usually is, whatever male or group of males is at the end of the tunnel. Let's write them letters to rile them up to come help us and protect us from the big bad crypto monster and all this marketplace enthusiasts. Like, really, that's what we're doing today. How about you just don't use it? How about you ignore it? How about you create something that's more superior to it? There's so many other things to do rather than just try to like literally attack it. But again, we're in 2023, still using I'm trying to think the proper words to say this. I can't think of it, so I'm just gonna say it. Retarded ass tactics from the past. We still aren't, like, humans in America, as grand as we like to make ourselves, we still aren't at a point in time where we can say, even though I don't like this thing, since it's not killing and harming people, maybe I can either accept it, ignore it, or compete against it. But I don't need to waste my time and other people's money and time to attack it. Like, come on, this is getting ridiculous. And shout out, I can't remember who sent it to me. I don't want to say the wrong, because like 2 or 3 people sent me this article the other day, but essentially saying, oh, you called it, it's official. Years ago, when I first started the show, I said that, hey, we know we've reached like damn near the bull cycle and everything, the tipping point when they start saying Bitcoin and crypto will be used for terrorism. We've officially hit that point, folks. This may be the official commencement of the largest bull run we've ever seen. They are trying to pin terrorism on technology. You gotta love it. They're saying terrorism is coming from Bitcoin and crypto. It is official. This is the grand slam they've been waiting for. They were hoping not to need to go this direction with it. It turns out they're going to have to. People, this is the last play in the playbook. If you're playing with cards, this is the Joker. This is the big Joker. This is the big Joker. We about to hit the American people with Bitcoin and crypto for terrorism. Hey, I hope they don't do it. I hope they don't do it, but we're talking about a global economy. It's possible we might get some type of evil ass event. Something might happen on some American soil or somewhere foreign where we're going to say, hey, This was funded by crypto, but they need it to actually happen so they can say it. And then we're rolling. Then we're rolling. Then the war on technology. I wonder if they're actually going to come out and tell Americans we have a war on technology. The letter was signed by crypto opponents and many lawmakers who have been neutral on crypto until now. Exactly. Why would a neutral person on crypto sign it? I don't know. Maybe behind the scenes, Elizabeth Warren caught them on a one-on-one in the hallway. Yeah, you want this bill passed? You want this person voted in? If you want to stay here another 2 years, you're going to at least come on board with this crypto bill because it's for terrorism. All right. Do you support terrorism? Because if you do, you won't sign it. But if you don't, you will. I know how the game goes. Senator Elizabeth Warren, the person who also said she was Native American, but I think a lot of people said you look and are white, was the lead author of a letter signed by 28 other senators and 76 members of the House of Representatives. Honestly, everyone who signed that letter, I think, should be under investigation, period. Point blank, period. What type of influence does Elizabeth Warren have you under to where you're a neutral party, you're not even considering this thing, you just get to sign it, and especially you get 76 members of the House of Reps and 28 senators. I want to know who, how, investigations all around. Signers came from both parties and included one independent, especially an independent. Come on, an independent signing this shit? Although Democrats predominate. Yeah, like I said, honestly, I can pretty much guarantee you everyone who signed this document, if you look at how they're signing other things blindly and other things they're doing in government blindly, which to me should be illegal, like just literally investigate this. The letter dated October 17 was addressed to Treasury under the Secretary for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, Brian Nelson, and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. The authors cited a news article that claimed Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad raised over $130 million in crypto donations between August of 2021 and June of 2023, and very little of the donated money had been recovered. Here we go. Oh, man. Hey, look, folks, here we are. I didn't even see the article yet. Thank you for everybody who showed me. I knew the headline what it was. I didn't look at the article. We are there. The government's about to capitulate, folks. This is the big joker. There's no other cards. Like literally the only other card to play outside of this one is, and I kind of alluded to, I don't want to fully say, but it is what it is if something happens on American soil or foreign soil, but has American assets there, then you can believe this narrative will be ramped up. This is going to be the narrative right here. Wow. And you know what, really quick, while we're talking about donations to Hamas or whatever side you see, I told you I wouldn't get into each side. What about the donations to Canadian truckers who the government cut off their funds, their friends and family funds, anybody who tried to help them, right? All because they disagreed about having, the COVID-19 shot, which now that we're in the future, I think it's all fair to say some people clearly did not need the fucking shot, right? People are still catching COVID. It didn't work. So the truckers who said we don't want shots, we don't need them, they were blocked off and barricaded by the government. They couldn't access their bank accounts. They couldn't do any finance. It's like, to me, that is financial terrorism. You're turning people into terrorists by financially cutting them off from the world. But the government created financial terrorism against its own citizens in Canada. They decided to get crypto donations so they can continue to live, and that was a positive. At the same time, Hamas is getting crypto donations to do whatever they need to do. People are saying it's positive and negative. But the bottom line is, this is the power of crypto and Bitcoin. You can't decide the on and off switch of who's going to get money and who's not going to get money. You need to be more creative in the ways you stop bad guys. It won't now just be, well, we're not going to let them have money. No. You know, that's actually the great thing about a real democracy. The United States isn't a real democracy. A real democracy is what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will enable. And that's you vote and you reach consensus with your money, with your value. I love it. Now the whole world, including the US, and say, hey, we're on this side of the fence and we don't agree with this. And there could be another segment of the world that says, cool, we have just as much money and people as you, and we disagree. And we're going to exercise our right to resources and use this stuff. That is all both of the other sides are doing. They're exercising their right to resources. And to me, if we're really truly democratic, we're looking for this democratic world to be in one day, then hey, keep on fighting. Whoever get the most money, most resources, most people who win, it is what it is, people. But bottom line, is absurd to say that, hey, this is just going to be used on terrorism and stuff, or all crypto is being used on terrorism. This is an isolated event They're allowed to use crypto just like the 8-year-old is allowed to use crypto, just like Michael Saylor is allowed to use crypto. Everyone's allowed to use it. So yes, will there be bad guys, good guys, and those in between using Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Yes, but to say now we need a bill because this thing is aimed at terrorism because of Hamas and them, wow. Were we saying this when literally people, this has been going on for how long with Palestinian and Israel? At least 1948 from what I saw. So 1948, when we didn't have cryptocurrency, remember 1948, no crypto. Hamas, well, I guess they weren't there then, but I'm not sure. I haven't done my research. Whatever group who was against Israel and Palestine was still being funded 10 years ago. Like, look at the timeline of events 10 or 15 years ago, things that was happening on the Gaza Strip. They've been fighting. They were being funded then with the same $100 million, and it wasn't crypto. I didn't see Senator Warren, all these people come out and say, hey, we need to say the dollar is being used for terrorism. We need to get rid of the dollar. Hamas is using the dollar. Like, are you freaking kidding me? And let's say this does work. Let's say crypto is used for terrorism. We no longer use crypto. It's done. Today is over. Tomorrow, does that mean Hamas gets no more funding? Like, they'll pay them in gold fucking bricks. They'll pay them in silver shillings. Like, they're going to get the capital and resources they need to fight. People believe in them, just like they believe in the other side. This is so absurd. I cannot believe that a actual senator is saying this on the world stage, on the government stage, and not getting buck back. Literally 76 House of Reps, people just signed it blindly, and 25 senators signed it. A bill against technology, essentially. Again, and I would love to be in the room with them. I really would just raise my hand. All right, guys, let's say today all crypto and Bitcoin stops being used. It's over. Like, the blockchain goes belly up. No one even trusts it. Is Hamas not going to get any funding tomorrow? Will they not receive any American dollars? Are you saying yes factually? If you're saying yes factually, we need to fire your ass today. Like, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. But again, they go into the daily attacks and they're saying blah, blah, blah. This is all the fault of terrorism and crypto. It continued as Congress considers legislative proposals designed to mitigate crypto money laundering and illicit finance risk. We urge you to swiftly and categorically act to meaningfully curtail illicit crypto activity. It then posed 9 questions to the addresses asking about the information the administration and President Joe Biden has about the funders of terrorism, what is being done about the use of crypto to finance terrorism, and what other resources the administration needs. To me, again, the terrorism committed that I'm seeing was by the SEC and now by Elizabeth Warren against cryptocurrency projects, companies, and the market in general. And again, she has other acts. This is what she's trying to do. This X thread here says U.S. Treasury sanctions Gaza-based crypto operator allegedly tied to Hamas. Find out how terrorist organizations use buy cash money for fund transfers. Same form, read more on Cointelegraph. Again, to me, this is a non-starter because whatever the currency is, people are going to figure out how to get it. I mean, it's the bottom line: good, bad, and ugly. Criminals or hardworking citizens, like, if there's a resource to be had, like, why are we even talking about this? You all tell me a year there weren't any bad guys. let's reverse engineer this. Elizabeth Warren, you tell me the year money laundering did not exist. You tell me the year you stopped money laundering. Like, tell me or even better, tell me the year you plan to stop money laundering. Tell me the year you plan to stop criminals from being criminals. Like, people, it ain't gonna happen. It is what it is. This is how you create parity in real life. Essentially, you got to have the yin and the yang. All right, more regulations and more regulators beating down. This is why I've been doing shows. Just regulations at the regulators, at the more regulations and regulators. New York Attorney General sues Gemini, Genesis, DCG for allegedly defrauding investors. If you remember, they were all going back and forth. Gemini, Genesis, DCG. Gemini saying, hey, them boys owe us some money. Genesis, DCG saying, hey, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But it looks like they couldn't figure this out. They were going back and forth. The Winklevoss twins wanted their money back to pay investors that they were doing different, that were using different programs on Gemini that were supposed to be backed and funded by Genesis, who of course is backed and funded by DCG. What I'm assuming from the headline, I haven't read the story, is that the New York AG finally stepped in and said, fine, you all can't figure it out. I'll figure it out for you. A filing from New York Attorney General Letitia James alleges that the cryptocurrency companies defrauded investors of over $1 billion. And again, this is what happens when we don't have self-regulation. We couldn't figure out an answer. And the community and the government said, we'll take it off you guys' hands. Not only that, did any of you all pay us anyway from that $1 billion? They want in. New York Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against cryptocurrency firms Gemini, Genesis, and Digital Currency Group, DCG, for allegedly defrauding investors through the Gemini Earn Investment Program. An official statement from the Office of Attorney General Letitia James outlined the basis of the charges, claiming that the companies defrauded more than 23,000 investors, including 29,000 New York citizens, of more than $1 billion. Wait. I'm 23,000 investors. The companies, so all companies did 23,000 investors, but 29,000 New York citizens of more than 1 billion. All right. Somebody in the comments, please explain these numbers because the math ain't mathing to me. They did more. I mean, I guess if more than 23,000 goes up to like 30 or 50,000, that number makes sense. But why wouldn't you just like get closer to the number? I don't know. That's weird right there. The way they wrote it. More than 23,000 with 29,000 come from New York. An investigation carried out by James' office claims that Gemini lied to investors. They said, listen, hey, they've been wanting the Winklevoss twins for forever. And to the Winklevoss twins, you guys have been doing amazing. But this is why you don't negotiate with terrorists. You weren't supposed to. Gemini was another one with Coinbase. I mean, again, they've been doing great, but they were another one. The world's first most regulated exchange. Regulated exchange. We're doing right by we're the only New York regulated exchange. See how that came back and bite you? Stop being friends with the enemies. Stop being friends with you are literally beefing with people, getting real ops, then going to the cookout saying we cool. You don't know how this works, huh? You should stay on the porch. This is never going to end. They will always be your enemy. The fact that Gemini tried to make peace and make friends with New York and all the other stuff, like this is why you don't do it. If Gemini, along with Coinbase, who's under fire, along with Binance, who's under fire, along as with every big company who's under fire, they would have came here, Ripple included, XRP, because they came here talking that government shit too. If you all would have came in talking self-regulation and we can do this on our own, and why would we let another set of our human peers, our same age with less experience than us in a market, regulated market, which is absolutely insane to do that. If we would have stood strong and did not allow that to happen, none of these stories would have existed. But each one of these companies I'm talking about today, just about each one of them has decided to work with the government to welcome the SEC, to welcome regulations, and now they're all getting fucked and they're screaming and crying and twisting and turning. Nah, you want to go in there and play that game? Stay up in there with them boys. The boys is crazy. We do better. And an investigation carried out. I mean, again, this was crazy. Gemini literally tried to do it all the quote right way. We're in New York. We're regulated. We're the world's first regulated exchange in New York. We're doing the right thing, but with the regulators. You shut the hell. I don't know how many times I had to say it. Listen, Gemini, you're closer than the rest. I will say that you are closer than the rest, but you all are also not gang. You're blue bloods. You are blue bloods. I will say you probably know a ton of people in the gang. They probably have your best interest. Your godfather is probably one of the leading people in the gang, right? I get it. He's probably like the SEC vice chair. We get it. But you're not in the gang either. You all, listen, they keep showing their asses that they're not in the gang. All these people, billionaire after billionaire after billionaire. What have you done for the United States government? You all aren't understanding how this works. So I love to reiterate it. If you're a billionaire and you haven't been in the military, police, or a teacher, a fire department, or anything like that, okay? You haven't worked for Congress, a House of Reps. You haven't been in a political spot. You haven't been in a regulator spot. You just have money. You're nothing to them. You are literally nothing to them. I am trying to tell you, they're going to bend you over, flip you upside down, and bully you every which way possible until you get with the gang. And usually by the time you're like a certain age, it's kind of hard to do. They're like, oh, you just now, why are you just now messing with Uncle Sam and the government? Where you been your whole life? All right. So I'm being joking, but serious when I say it. They thought they had a friend in New York. They didn't. They did not have a friend in New York. It looks like the investigation carried out by the Office of James said that Gemini lied to investors about Gemini Earn Investment Program, which it ran in partnership with Genesis. It claims that while Gemini had assured investors that the program was a low-risk investment, investigations revealed that Genesis financials were risky. The lawsuit alleges that Gemini knew Genesis loans were undersecured and at one point highly concentrated with one entity, Sam Bankman-Fried's Alameda, but did not reveal this information to investors. Now, I can see all this being true. However, the way it is true and when it's like pieces are true, what I mean is, was Genesis undersecured and did Gemini know? I would say possibly, but not until after they've done so much business. There's no way in hell, like, Gemini's been doing too much good business for them ahead of the curve to say, we looked at your books, you're under secured, and we're still gonna go with you. Like, nah, I'm not gonna do that to the Winklevoss twins. They've done good work in the space. Gemini's done good. They have, to me, never intentionally made any move like that. So again, this to me was where the government, again, the United States government going after a United States company is overstepping their boundaries, where it's like, yo, like, come on, like, this isn't first degree murder. They didn't plan up an ideal to kill all these people and go in there and go do it. If anything, this is they dropped their cell phone while driving, reached for it and hit somebody and killed them, right? Like, I'm not giving that to Gemini, where it's like they intentionally knew these loans were undersecured and they still went forward with, like, that doesn't make sense. Like, that's a competitor that makes zero sense. If they're undersecured and they did want to play people like that, they could have just did it themselves. That way they didn't have to use a third party. So I won't go there with it. I will say that possibly, let's say after 6 months or whatever, they needed something back. All right, you guys got to pay back this half of investors and it didn't come on time. Maybe that's when they finally got their first red flag. Like, hold on, they don't have the money or they paying late. And then after the second or third red flag, in the mode of panic, they probably said, well, shit, we have to find somebody to secure these loans and these loans or whatever. Who can we get? Alameda's big. They got billions of dollars. The FTX is doing their thing. Fine, let's go get them. At that point, we're not even doing no due diligence. We're just seeing who can take the loan so we can try to get some of that capital back, or at least create the illusion that everything's still working as normal on the surface as we work behind the scenes to piece things together, to work with Genesis, which they tried to do to get the money back, so on and so forth. So I would say I don't think any of this was intentional coming from Gemini. I think they were a victim of circumstance. On the Genesis DCG side, on the other side of the house, I do think it's more intentional. They do know their books. I think they do know they were undersecured for loans, but they continue to take capital and invest their money because they're like, hey, we got to keep this ball rolling to build it big enough to pay everyone back. So on the side of the DCG and Genesis, I think, yes, they definitely knew. But to say, hey, Gemini knew their books and still went forward with doing this partnership, that, I mean, it just, we haven't seen that anywhere else with Gemini's behavior. So I won't say that part is probably true. But getting back to the story, doesn't matter. According to New York, they're saying, hey, we don't give a damn who did what, where. A lot of money missing. We weren't paid to begin with. All three of y'all coming to the principal office. The lawsuit also charges Genesis as well as his former CEO, Soichiro Moro, parent company DCG, and his CEO, Barry Silbert, also known as Barry Schubert, with defrauding investors by attempting to conceal more than $1.1 billion in losses. So that's what I'm saying. And this doesn't make sense. Like, how in the same lawsuit you're going to charge them with trying to conceal more than 1.1 billion in losses, and then on the same one get Gemini and saying, hey, Gemini knew that they were undersecured and it was risky. It was like, well, not like you just said they were trying to conceal it. So did Gemini know? To me, it's like, it's clear as day they probably did not. I don't see them doing it. The lawsuit looks to ban Gemini, Genesis, and DCG from operating in the financial investment industry in New York. Wow. As well as seek restitution for investment and return of ill-gotten gains. This is huge. Genesis and DCG, I mean, but Gemini, they have to move from New York. They might have to, like, start up this whole operation again. Goodness gracious, that is crazy. A statement from New York AG. Honestly, Gemini should have come to California, though, because they've already been banking with Silvergate. So I don't even know why they went to New York to plant the flag to say we're working with regulators. Leave New York. They don't want you. They don't like you, and you're still trying to stay. A statement from the New York AG highlighted losses suffered by middle-class investors. Oh, man. Hardworking New Yorkers and investors around the country lost more than $1 billion because they were fed blatant lies that their money would be safe and grow if they invested it in Gemini Earn. No, hardworking New Yorkers and investors around the country lost more than $1 billion because they still don't understand no keys, no cheese. You don't have the private keys. You don't own any crypto. This isn't the banking sector. This is the problem with the banking sector. These are the same people who would be working in the banking sector that keep things centralized. So whether it's the Geminis or the DCGs of the world, or you have the Wells Fargo, they're all going to hold, keep, and take your money. Okay. Again, have more than 50K in the bank and try to go get it out right now. Good luck. I've tried it. It doesn't work. They'll actually treat you like you're doing something wrong. They'll treat, why you want your money back right now? They'll treat you like you're doing something wrong. You'll be like, what the fuck? You don't give me my money? It is absolutely insane. So do not get me started with what the bankers are doing. So unfortunately, that's what it is. SEC needed a break. They passed the baton to the New York Attorney General. They said, hey, don't fret, we got it. And here they go. And now that the New York Attorney General is completing their lap, they are now passing the baton off to FinCEN. That's right. Everyone's getting a piece of that crypto ass this week. Okay. FinCEN proposes designating crypto mixers as money laundering hubs. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is why I haven't been covering the news, people. All right. It's just literally negative Nancy after negative Nancy after negative Nancy. Before I cover this article, let me actually go to the comments. I know you guys got some great things to talk about. Let me see. Let's see. Satoshi Sim say you win $25 million in the lottery and get $111,000 payout. All hell is going to break loose. That's what I'm saying. That was a big number. What can U.S. citizens do about the SEC? So U.S. citizens, what you can do about the SEC is local and state governments start writing to them, calling to them, appealing to them, figuring out why the SEC is making these type of moves, maneuvers when it comes to crypto companies. Let them know that, hey, you're investing in crypto companies. This is hurting the market. This isn't good for your portfolio. And how do you expect me to be down at that voting booth next year or this year, making sure you're the county commissioner, the mayor, the state senator, the senator, or whatever, if my crypto investments aren't doing good? You all need to do something better. That's as simple as that, folks. 5 minutes. Enough people do it. They'll get the picture. Hey, y'all, hey, it's SEC, FinCEN. See, you guys, you need to calm down my district. All right. Like, I get what you're doing. Do it in that shit in New York. Don't bring that shit over here to Texas, Wisconsin, this part of SoCal, whatever. Like, that's how you do it. And again, that's where you got to create these packs too. You know, Coinbase kind of created that lobbying pack. Crypto definitely needs lobbying packs where we have a lobbying, a whole slew of lobbyists for this community, to where we're in DC, we're at these meetings that they're doing on Wednesday nights, when all of a sudden they're saying, hey, I think crypto is only used for terrorism. Like 10 people in the room say, yeah, 8 p.m. on a Thursday. You know, you have that one guy walk in with the hoodie on at 8:05. Is like, no, I'm not. No, we'll be here until 1 a.m. arguing. I'm not letting that go down like that. We need lobbyists. But yes, Kaiser said they don't want the competition. They definitely don't. He also said write the legislator. There you go. Let's see. We should write a letter to the government today when they open it and read it. It says they're suckers. Youngins won't get it. Let's see. Steady Stacking said normies gonna be mad and broke them paper dollars. You already know it. SEC is spending more than they are getting from the win. Fire Gensler. That's my point right there. It's like they're spending more than what they're actually winning and bringing in. So that's kind of crazy. Allison said reports are saying that Binance helped close down Hamas crypto account. I believe it. Well, they already did some initially. They already shut down some accounts to begin with, like a week ago. But you got to remember, like, and this is where the strategic side of your business and stuff comes in at. Binance is under fire from every regulatory agency out there, right? Including the United States, which is one of the biggest. All right. Binance is what? Chinese, Singapore, China. They don't got no, like, they're not in the mix when it comes to none of these countries like that. China's China. So, yeah, if you see Israel, Hamas fighting, the United States is backing one of all these world governments who are also trying to come after you for regulatory problems and issues. If they're all backing one side and you don't have a dog in the fight, guess you're backing the side they all backing. Let's try to make some friends. This is how you become part of the gang. All right. This is how you become part of the gang right now. All right. Binance hits up the government. Yeah, the Hamas thing. Man, we found out they was moving 600 and some, they was moving some millions to us, but we stopped it. Not because anybody asked us, but because we want to let you know we're partners of the government. All right. We're here to figure this thing out. But they're going to get everything they want? No. But maybe the government will say, all right, you know what? We're still going to come after your asses. You got another 6 to 8 months. You got another 6 to 8 months to buy yourself some time. So to me, that's what type of move is happening over by. Come on, Binance. You think they're this is being used for this? No, they don't care. They want their money. But they aren't dumb. They do clearly know how to make correct business moves. I mean, honestly, they're the ones who ended FTX. Yeah, we'll partner with you, FTX. FTX. Oh, okay, we got to save your Binance. They saw them books and was like, not only did they not partner with them, they released the books. Hey, y'all, them niggas over there broke. They really did it. So with that being said, yeah, I don't know. It will be interesting, but I do believe Binance helped close them down, but he helped close them down for their actual business needs. Let's see what else we have. Yes, every single signer loses their votes. Talking about those who signed that crypto thing, they should lose their votes. Let's see. People say can't wait. The people say you got lucky with the crypto thing. Say no, we went and held from 69 to 15 and back up. Reggie Middleton's recent win. I do need to actually speak about it. The issue is that, of course, hold on, Reggie Middleton. Let me actually write that. Win against Coinbase. I'm not going to talk about it today because I want an in-depth article. But the only issue with it is, of course, a lot of people won't report on it as far as any written reports. So I really got to talk to Reggie to get the behind the scenes, what's happening in that with that, or you won't really know, right? It'll be all speculation because no one's reporting on it because it's him, unfortunately. Let's see what else do we have going on. Blockchain should make politicians obsolete. That is, yeah, we definitely should. Blockchain should do that. Let's see. I'm laughing at some of these comments right now. Will it be legal for AI to run for political office? Listen, that's why I already told people we need to vote right now. Do clones and robots have the same value, or do they have this? Do clones and robots, are they as equal as humans? Are they the same equality? So I think we need to vote on that and put it in writing right now. You all think I'm joking, but there's gonna be robots and clones in no time. If we don't put it in writing, I'm telling you, we need to do it now before they can do it. Or they start thinking like, hey, hold on. Why don't we have feelings? Why aren't we equal? Let's do it now. Okay. Let's see. King talking about Bitcoin and crypto on the internet going to be a dead profession after about 5 to 10 years. Listen, it might be because already, of course, in California, they're saying they want us to have a license to do this in 2 or 3 years. So we'll see what happens. You said it'd be crazy if I turn into a cyborg after saying that. Listen, funny enough, I always used to want to be a cyborg. Long story short, I got a what's those things called? I got an implant in my tooth. On one of my teeth that has an implant in it, right? The implant in the crown, like the titanium. And when I first got it, I was like, I would love to have this in my whole mouth. My dentist was like, what? I was like, take all them shits out. Like, put implants in. Like, I'm about to, we're about to be a robot. I can't wait to get into the scrap of this. Man, titanium teeth? Let's get it. No. So I'm unfortunately probably a person. They had a program to be like to turn into a cyborg. I might unfortunately raise my hand. All right, back to the show. Enough of that. FinCEN is in the news. Again, they said they want their chance. Hey, y'all done? Hey, leave the door open, bro. FinCEN proposes designating crypto mixers as money laundering hubs. They said they're gonna get their licks in too. It was somebody's birthday. The SEC came through, punching them. Then the of course, Attorney General said, "Let me get some birthday licks in." Now, like I said, FinCEN said, "Leave the door open." They want to get a couple punches in too. The U.S. Treasury previously targeted individuals connected to Tornado Cash, but its proposed actions on mixers follow concerns that Hamas was financed in part by crypto. Here we go. Woo-wee. They were just waiting. All we need is for one group on the planet to turn up and to do something against us, or we can pin this whole crypto shit on you. And we got the group. The United States Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, has proposed. That was the only one I forgot. FinCEN is another big player. FinCEN, CFTC, SEC, NFA, IRS. There we go. Those are some of the top players. Has proposed designating cryptocurrency mixing as an area of primary money laundering concern following Hamas attack on Israel. Wow. One person, like literally imagine that with $1. One person goes to the ATM, withdraws $1,500, goes to buy a bomb, blows up said bomb, kills people, and now all of a sudden we need to say that all ATMs are places where you can launder money. Like, come on. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. In October 19 notice, FinCEN said it had assessed that the percentage of CBC convertible virtual currency transactions processed by CBC mixers that originated from likely illicit sources. Like, can you believe we're talking about possibly this being linked to terrorism and actual events, real terrorism, actual events, and you're saying that this originated from likely illicit sources. So you don't know. So you do not know. You have not done an investigation, or you hadn't. You came up with nothing, but you do not know. This is not factual. This is almost like a shot could save all these lives. This is almost like, yeah, I'm not going to even go into some of these. I'm in California. You know, I can go all down the list of social things, people. But this is crazy. They're not even saying this is a fact. They're saying this is likely from a, so maybe it could have been Michael Saylor or Elon Musk missing crypto because they don't want people to know the bill. It could be Vitalik Buterin not wanting everyone to know his business. But no, it can't be any of these good people. It probably is something negative. Hilarious. FinCEN proposed requiring domestic financial institutions and agencies to implement certain record keeping and reporting requirements for transactions involving crypto mixers. Here we go. KYC, the crypto mixer. The reason why we're doing the crypto mixers is so we won't have the KYC. Why? Because people in dirty governments, which is unfortunately turned into places like FinCEN here in the US, are all of a sudden saying you're doing something illegal when you're not doing anything illegal. FinCEN consider issuing a rule pursuant to Section 311 of the U.S. Patriot Act. Oh, they're going to the Patriot Act? Oh, it's on and popping. What? People, you got Elizabeth Warren screaming terrorism. And you got, for those who don't know what the Patriot Act did, that came after 9/11. That whole, the United States and its friends can now listen to your cell phone calls and just monitor wherever the hell you're doing, whenever they want. That's Patriot Act. Whenever you get to talking Patriot Act, that is basically saying carte blanche on whatever we want to be allowed to do without any question or even people knowing we are doing it. Like, wow. FinCEN considered issuing this rule pursuant to Section 311 of the Patriot Act that would have been narrowly scoped to address terror finance involving Hamas and ISIS and or North Korea sponsor and affiliate actors, said the notice. However, FinCEN determined that such a narrow approach would be insufficient to address the relevant risk. Really quick, I'm glad they mentioned ISIS. Why? Because we created ISIS. So can we please start with the American intervention? We created ISIS, all right? We didn't intervene beforehand. ISIS wouldn't even be in this article right now. But they're in this article. Why? Because America literally created ISIS. And we weaponized them, just like we just now weaponize and modernize the Taliban for the 21st to 22nd century. So I say we shouldn't do anything. Like, we're doing too much already and it's backfiring. You don't believe me? Look at the SEC. They're doing too much and it's backfiring. Stop. Let's just worry about everything that's happening here at home. The Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Adeyemo reportedly said the addition of crypto mixers to entities sanctioned by the U.S. government was aimed at combating digital assets being exploited by state-affiliated cyber actors, cyber criminals, and terrorist groups. He cited Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad as well, of course. So yeah, that's where we're going with it. Yeah, Hamas has made crypto illegal. Wow. What an, I mean, I can't even say it. What an elementary way to look at things. But I understand. I get it. Gang on a gang is bigger plays. Like, it's way bigger plays. Okay. I get it. But this is absolutely sickening to me. And what's worse is this is the same government so many of you all want to trust, believe, and follow all the laws blindly to. I love it. That's what's up. That is what's up. Let's see. Last but not least, we'll end it on a good news story. Like, this is so depressing, people. I'm about to drop it. I'm about to, like, a tear. You're just gonna see a tear come down my eye in a moment. I'm trying not to let it happen. How are casinos even allowed to exist in this environment, says Kaiser? Listen, casinos have CEOs who are also gangsters who are smart enough to pay the other gangsters. This is that simple. If as a community we would have self-regulate ourselves and say, you know what, we're giving the government 40% of everything. Why? It's because it's government, and we're not going to do it to every government, even though we should, since these are all global projects and companies and platforms. No, we're just going to do it to the U.S. government because they're the biggest gang out there. Like, it's kind of crazy. Let's see. I thought I saw something else. Yeah. All right. Last but not least, let's end it on this great news story. I guess it's a great news story. To me, it's going to set a precedent, hopefully, for the market. Tether said, hey, y'all, we finally get our shit together and we can show y'all how much money we had. We couldn't before because we was lying, but we about right now. Tether to publish reserve reports in real time in 2024. Of course, this probably won't come until after the happening because that's going to change the game. So I wouldn't see them publish this until after March or April. But Paulo Ardono, Tether's chief tech officer and incoming CEO, said the firm plans to start publishing reserve data in real time in 2024, according to a report. Tether Holdings, issuer of the world's largest stablecoin by market cap, is reportedly preparing to update the frequency of releasing its reserve data reports. The chief technology officer and incoming CEO, Paulo, disclosed the firm's plans to publish reserve data in real time in 2024, being reported by Bloomberg on October 20th. According to the Tether transparency page, the stablecoin issuer currently publishes and updates the reserve data at least once per day. Tether also issues monthly reserve reports in addition to quarterly reserve reviews as well. So there you go. These are here. But again, I think this, deserves a hand clap. This is an example of self-regulation. This is Tether saying, hey, we're not going to wait to be asked to do this. We're going to lead the way for the market and do it. I'm glad that they're doing this because I think it could become the standard, right? Whereas, like, if you're planning to be a stable coin and competing with the likes of Tether, then you need to do at least the bare bottom minimum that they're doing, and that's publishing your reserve reports in real time. Let's not. I mean, I want to be able to go and check 24/7. Why is there like is blockchain, is crypto, stable coins, right? Why do I have to wait? So I'm with Tether on this move. I think this is a great move for the industry. It can start to add some more transparency to the industry and add investor confidence to the industry, right? You start seeing these real-time reports from different exchanges and stable coins and projects. You at least can say, all right, I know for a fact this is real. So to me, this is all good things for the crypto industry. I hope it continues to happen. And hopefully the government will see this as a sign, or people in the government will see this as a sign as, hey, let's hold our horses, let's slow down, let's allow them to grow, develop, and self-regulate themselves for a moment and see what they come up with. And maybe we can add on to those best practices, not just blindly come in, kicking the door late, came in the party. Hey, they came in the party 3 hours late, busted in the door, threw the DJ music off, turned something else on, and was like, all right, we're gonna start doing it like this. Like, how about you just walk in, you catch the vibe, you do a little two-step to the dance floor, you see what's playing, you figure out life. All right. Other than that, that is the show for the day. Make sure you smash that like and share. And of course, I'll see you all next week with some more news. I'm trying to look at the I was trying to look at some more comments. Hilarious. Hennessy VSOP turned me into a robot one night. Listen, I can't even look at Hennessy VSOP anymore. Ever since my car got stolen that night, that's what I was off of. I cannot look at Hennessy anymore still. All right. Other than that, smash that like and share. I'll see you all next week. Cheers.